have not had a new men's fragrance release from Chanel since 2018, 6 years ago until now. Because we have a brand new release, not quite what we were expecting. It's called Allure Homme Sport Superleggera. So let's get it unboxed and see how it smells. Chanel aren't the most prolific when it comes to new fragrance releases. We've got Paco Rabanne over here releasing one every month. Chanel, no, every 6 years it seems at the moment. The previous release, 2018, Bleu de Chanel Parfum. And this one, it's more like half a release, to be honest. It's a flanker, but it's a limited edition flanker, so I don't know how widespread it's gonna be. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but let's just be thankful we've got a new fragrance release from Chanel. So this one is Allure Homme Sport Superleggera. Now, not only am I a little flummoxed by Chanel's next release being another flanker in the Allure Homme Sport line, I'm a little flummoxed by the name also. Superleggera, which is a word to do with cars. It means super light. It's an Italian term that was applied to a brand new way of constructing an Italian racing car, where the car would be incredibly light, yet structurally sound. Let's hope we are getting a fragrance that is structurally sound, because super light, do we want a super light fragrance? I mean, if it's fresh, if it's light, but structurally sound, if it's got performance, if it's got longevity, I don't mind a lighter, refreshing, invigorating style fragrance that has good performance, but let's see if that's what we're getting. I'm a little worried. The other slightly confusing thing about all this is Chanel are a French brand. This is an Italian word. There's a little bit of a disconnect there. What have Chanel got to do with cars? With Italian racing cars? Where's the connection with that? Maybe someone at Chanel loves Italian racing cars and they wanted to create a fragrance that tied in with that. There just doesn't seem to be a clear connection between Superleggera and Chanel fragrances. Who knows, maybe this will be the next elixir term. Maybe every brand will be coming out with a Superleggera. We'll be getting Paco Rabanne's 1 million Superleggera edition, if this is good. £130 for 100 ml, so I'm hoping it's got at least passable performance. What I'm going to do with this is what I usually do with my first impressions videos, is give it a first spray, give you my very initial first impressions, and then go away for 24 hours, give it a full wearing, maybe a couple of wearings, and then give you at least some informed feedback about how I've found the performance in that time. And so here is our bottle. It is clear and it looks nice. And even though the Superleggera thing is a bit strange, it's raised up from the bottle. It seems to be actually in the glass and not just stuck on. So, you know, the usual classy sort of presentation from Chanel. It looks good. Let's have a little spray and see if this was worth the 140 bucks. Well, that is really nice. That is very nice. I'm pleased that the initial smell, at least, is good. And it's different to Allure Homme Sport and Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. It's not got the sweetness or the depth of Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. And I don't think it's got quite the invigorating, refreshing citrus that Allure Homme Sport has. Kind of somewhere in between. It's very smooth. It is citrusy, it is refreshing, but there's a smoothness, an overall smoothness to the profile. It's not jumping out as being this very sharp, tart, citrusy fragrance. I think there is grapefruit in here, but I'm not getting a massive blast of that realistic grapefruit. Just a nice sort of smooth, citrusy blend. At this point, I'm going to say that it certainly does smell like a structurally sound fragrance, which is no surprise. We usually do get good quality stuff from Chanel, and this definitely does smell like it's a really well blended fragrance, structurally sound. As I continue to smell it and it's starting to dry down, I am getting a bit of the grapefruit coming through now. It wasn't there in that initial blast, which I thought it would be, but it just seems to now be revealing itself a little bit more as it dries down. So it's not as light and lively and as effervescent as Allure Homme Sport. It's not as deep and rich and sweet as Allure Homme Sport O Extreme. Kind of sits in the middle of those two. And to me, this is not so light and summery and citrusy that you would only wear it in warmer temperatures. This, to me, on this initial spray is coming across as quite a versatile fragrance. It does have some woody, ambery sweetness, some depth, some good structure, so I think it would really work in colder temperatures, but it's got the brightness, it's got the lightness, and whilst it's not poppy and citrusy, it's still light enough to definitely be able to wear in warmer temperatures, so super versatile in my opinion. The quality is good, the smell is good. I'm not saying it's a game-changing type of smell, it's a bright, ambery, woody scent, but it's got the Chanel quality. You can tell that this is a fragrance with some good ingredients in. I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable with my £130 that I spent on this because I feel like it's a scent that I can get a lot of wear out of. I could wear this for everything, anywhere, anytime. I can really just rinse it basically. As it's drying down a little bit more, there's something in the base coming through, there's something just punching through, whether it's musks or ambroxan, I'm not sure, but there's definitely, it's just something kicking off, not a citrusy kick, but there's something kicking out a really enjoyable, mass appealing type of smell that I think is probably going to really, there's like a compliment getting molecule in some fragrances, and this definitely has that. This is punching out so that people will smell it. I feel like it's going to be projecting quite nicely, although I will report back to you after I've given it a full day's testing. So far, so good. I'm liking it. So let's do that. Let's end this little section here. I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'll wear this for the rest of today, and I'll wear it for the gym tomorrow morning and see how it's done in those two slightly different situations, and then I will report back. But so far, so good. Allure Homme Sport Superleggera is a thumbs up at this stage, but let's see if it can last. All right, I will see you tomorrow.
If you love fragrance as much as I do, head over to my online store, luxparfum.co.uk. You'll find my favourite brands, plus brands you can't find anywhere else in the UK. Link is in the description.
And we're back, just like that. 24 hours later, I've given this a couple of wearings. As I said, I wore it for the rest of the day yesterday, and I've worn it for the gym this morning, and it's a thumbs up. I liked it. I really enjoyed wearing the fragrance. It's not a game changer. It didn't blow my mind, but it's solid. I'd say probably I enjoy it about the same as Allure Homme Sport, but not quite as much as Allure Homme Sport O Extreme. I like that that is a stronger fragrance. It's a more impactful fragrance. The performance of that one is a bit better. Performance of this was pretty decent. I'd say it was pretty much on par with things like Allure Edition Blanche, with Allure Homme Sport, but not quite as long-lasting or as strong in its projection as Allure Homme Sport O Extreme. Going further into the comparisons, Allure Homme Sport, as I mentioned, is more citrusy, more invigorating. It's got that juicier opening. This has definitely got some citrus in there, but it's not that eye-opening, juicy citrus. It's all much more rounded off. It's really nice, actually. I think it makes the fragrance more versatile, probably, than Allure Homme Sport. I'd say the longevity is somewhere around the 6-hour mark, which is kind of acceptable, or is it, for a fragrance that costs £130? But really, that's what we're paying. £130 for 100 ml, so it's not the most expensive fragrance on the planet. It's nice, it's got the Allure DNA in there. I'm going to France tomorrow, actually. I'm going to be traveling through the airport, and this will be perfect. It'll be perfect to wear on a travel day, and whilst I'm in the Alps, it's going to be pretty warm, so this will probably just be perfect for that trip. So I'm going to take this Chanel back to its home country. To sum up, it's not remarkable, it's not mind-blowing, it's not a game changer, but it is a pretty solid entry into the Allure Homme Sport lineup. I would like to see Chanel, as we keep saying, come out with a new line, something completely different. That would be great, but we might be waiting a little while. I don't feel like Chanel have much up their sleeve with regards to new fragrances. But if you think all that sounded interesting for you, then try and smell it if you can, because you might think that if you've got Allure Homme Sport and Allure Homme Sport Extreme, that you might not need this one. I don't think it's completely redundant, but there are similarities, so do try to smell it if you can. Limited edition, don't know how long it's going to last. If you're a completist, you're probably going to want it. It's a cool bottle, it's a nice fragrance. I enjoyed it. It's fresh, it's light, it's versatile. I'm not sure I'd describe it as incredibly light, but it definitely is structurally sound. So I guess it does what it says on the tin. And that's going to do it for this video. Let me know if you've tried this fragrance. Are you interested? Are you excited? Or are you just waiting for Chanel to drop something mind-blowing, another game changer, another iconic fragrance? Well, we'll have to wait and see. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do all that, you'll see me in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.